Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another StarCraft 2 broadcast. Today we're going to be continuing our coverage of DreamHack Valencia with another best of 3 series, this time between Liquid Hero spawning as the blue Protoss over in the top right position against mouzThorZaiN, the red Terran down in the bottom left, who it looks like had a little bit of a misrally with his SCV. Don't think that's going to affect the game too much, however, as these players will be fighting on GSL dual site. I do have all of the games set up for you, as well as a few others that are going to be coming from this match series. I am very, very happy to be bringing you. Now, let's talk about the players for just a second. ThorZaiN and Hero, both players that we have seen recently on my StarCraft 2 YouTube channel. Hero versus Idra, games 1, 2, and possibly 3. You'll have to go and watch that series and find out. Very impressive play, I have to admit. I do like Hero's style. Also, ThorZaiN against Huck, best of 3 series. That was, especially game number 2, I think one of the more exciting StarCraft games that I have watched in a long time. So definitely it's just a couple games for you guys to watch up on, maybe get an idea of the styles of each individual player. Hero, I feel like, incorporates a wide variety of strategies. I think he's got a nice tool set coming into this. I feel like his PvT is very strong, but likewise, ThorZaiN, after watching him fight against Huck, I have to say, I think this guy is very comfortable against Protoss as well. So we're going to be watching to see what kind of builds they employ. We can already rule out a 1-Rax fast expand or 2-Rax pressure from ThorZaiN here. So I think with this this gas, we could see him either just going for some kind of tech route, based off of this kind of generic opener, which the Protoss is going to come up here and see, or he could decide to just go ahead and maybe push a early bio pull, or early bio harass on Hero's main or natural, depending on what he goes. Let's see, we do have the cybernetic score going down, so we're going to be watching to see if the gas is coming anytime in the next 30 to 45 seconds as well. If not, then Hero could be going for like a 1-gate expand, something of that sort. Nope, there goes that second gas, so he will be in a good position to open up with any assortment of tech plays. A lot of times you'll see robotics facility drop there, but I think what's going on right now is we're seeing, okay, Hero spots this build, maybe thinking 1-1-1 is a potential threat at some point here in the near future. So hoping to drop this gas and at least delay that a little while. Of course, the most common Protoss counter for that is to early expand, try to get a robo up, and you've also seen Huck, how he handled the 1-1-1 style of play against ThorZaiN a couple games back. Very impressive style, constantly interrupting the supply lines, attacking from different angles, keeping his opponent on his toes. So we'll see how Hero handles this now. With this reactor having gone down, we're going to see a decent bit of Marines there, but also, more importantly, is the second barracks hidden at ThorZaiN's natural with the tech lab. Now, this is going to be a clear indication that ThorZaiN is just simply adjusting his build to deal with this assimilator. He's looking to put some pressure on. And so maybe Hero was thinking, okay, well, if I put this down, I delayed enough, maybe ThorZaiN will go for an expansion early to make up for it, or I don't know really what else he could be thinking right now. Unfortunately, I'm not a player of Hero's caliber, but I will say that I don't think Hero is going to be expecting that second barracks. I say that because we've got that second gateway on the way, but no warp gate technology. All that gas has been saved up for a Void Ray, which is being chrono boost, but look at that. You see he is supply blocked, so this chrono boost is going to be gone to waste. Look at the supply discrepancy right now. You see a 10 supply gap between these two players. Now, ThorZaiN going to be moving out a few SCVs. He's got the Marauder as well. That'll be very effective against those Stalkers, which we see there is one of them currently. 2 additional gateways now on the way. Oh, canceling that one. Oh, man. Well, look over here. We could see he spots the attack on the way. Will he be ready for it? Well, I'm not too sure. I don't think he will be. He's got 2 Stalkers. He does have a sentry on the way. If he can get this sentry up in time to drop a force field and hold off this force, then he might be in a good enough position to have this Void Ray out, possibly attack from the high ground, charge up maybe on the gateway and start annihilating those Marines. But I don't think that's going to be the case. You see that ThorZaiN is actually coming in to this attack with Combat Shield a hair away from completion. There we go. So he is going to be able to use that 10 extra hit points to stay in here for even longer. Massive loss right there, that early sentry. Oh man, Hero very much needed that. But obviously he will have to make do with what he has here. Warp gate about 30% complete, as ThorZaiN is now facing that Void Ray pressure, which was originally rallied to go down to the Terran base, is forced to come back and defend. So not only is this attack cutting into Hero's probes significantly, but it's also delaying the attack here meant to contain and harass ThorZaiN. And ThorZaiN now knows about the Void Ray, the Stargate play, so he can better prepare for it. Having that combat shield upgrade will be very useful. Also, you can see he's got that reactor on the barracks, so getting some Marines out very quickly will not be a problem for him. Still running on 1 gas. You see he's just got 2 SCVs on it right now. Really doesn't need much more than that. He has enough gas for STEM. He's also sitting on a little bit extra, so he can drop another Marauder or 2 if necessary, or even a factory later on down the road. Oh, we'll just let that continue on and pay attention to this Void Ray now, which you see already has 4 kills. Again, that's from the defense up top. Hero has to make this thing pay for itself and more. The reason I say that is if you look at the economy, 17 to 24, that was like 13 to 24 or something like that. And so Hero has got to close this gap and basically return the favor, or else he's not going to be able to make a substantial comeback. Something else he could do if he wanted to, while harassing, you see he does have the expansion going down. He could go for another expansion, which would be extremely risky, considering the fact that the second or the third one is kind of far away, but at the same time, he's already at an economic disadvantage right now. We've got the orbital command coming in. The second mule is going to help propel the Terran economy even farther ahead. So Hero is looking around for any opportunity that he can take advantage of. He spots it. The tech lab, which he does know is researching something. He's likely assuming it's stim pack, considering the fact that the Marines already have the combat shields, and the Marines are obviously the biggest threat to him at this point. So if he can take this out, it will be very, very nice for Hero. But with this SCV here, he's going to be able to easily repair it. Considering the fact that Hero is not able to do consistent damage to this because of the threat of the Marines, I feel like 1 SCV should be more than enough to keep this Void Ray out of becoming a real threat. And we can see those Marines are all basically just taking like 5 hits apiece and then going down, or going away rather. But now this Void Ray is fully charged. It is going to be a little bit more dangerous, but again, look at how Hero is abusing the ledge. I do like this a lot. And of course, we can see that, okay, he spots the Void Ray, but just a little bit up there, and he's got a nice safe position. Sure enough, there we go. Disappears. Manages to get away with 45 hit points. So far, 2 more kills total from this attack. Just look at the units lost so far, resources rather. 1350 to 1,000. So look up here. I think that was an SCV that actually just died a second or 2 ago. Hero has been very gas heavy for some time, considering the build that he did and the attack that kind of threw him off balance. So he planted plenty of sentries, which I think will be fantastic, especially considering the natural expansion here has this choke point right here, also a nice choke position right here. So Hero should be able to manipulate the battle, get a few more Stalkers, and really be able to deal with any sort of Marine pressure that ThorZaiN could decide to employ. But I think with that Void Ray having realized so many Marines are out here that ThorZaiN might not be looking to attack just yet. We, of course, can see his army is still a pretty decent size, 1550 to 825. You still see there's about a 10 supply gap difference right there, rather. So Hero is going to be trying to continue to pressure with this Void Ray. I don't feel like he has a lot of targets, though, with this starport here now. He's going to be able to get some Vikings out and negate that Void Ray harassment very easily. Of course, Hero looking to move in and use this as a scout, but also possibly, okay, there we go. I was going to say possibly harassing the mineral line once it's charged up, but those Marines are reacting super quick, and this Void Ray might actually go down. Oh, man! There is a pretty big loss for Hero there, as that is really his only way to project force across the map at this point, and can at least try to delay and contain ThorZaiN, who right now is, like I said, sitting in a great position. Now at 20 supply lead, we're going to have a scout head out for ThorZaiN, pretty much just check and see the map, okay, get an idea of the unit composition, and then decide to attack or to withdraw. ThorZaiN now moving out. He's got weapons 1 about 60% complete. He's got those medevacs, which I think are going to be the key unit here. We see some force fields going down, with Hero choosing to engage in a wide open area. This is going to force him to use so much energy that if he just fell back here, maybe force fielded here, or even just fell back to this ramp and maybe lose 1 sentry in the process, but now he's lost so much more. All these sentries are going down. You see all the force fields have been used, but I mean, to what effect? He's got the Stalkers left, but ThorZaiN Hero has to know that ThorZaiN is in such a position that he can reinforce very quickly now. ThorZaiN has essentially had his economy left unchecked for pretty much the entire game. There was a little bit of voider harassment. That really doesn't count. All it did was really just kind of delay an attack and force ThorZaiN to make a few extra Marines. That's about it. But we're seeing Hero bring up these Stalkers. He's anticipating a drop for those medevacs. We, of course, can see that's not coming right now. He's just kind of building up his forces again. I think he realized, okay, maybe Hero is not quite as damaged as I thought he was, but he's still definitely down a good bit. So I think ThorZaiN right now is just wanting to maintain that lead, and it can be a very risky move for a player to go and just try to kill the guy based on whatever advantage you think he may have. So I think what ThorZaiN is going to be looking to do here, well, for now he's going to be trying to drop nice pickup there. Very quick reflexes, but I think what he's going to be doing is looking to possibly extend the gap a little bit, but not too much. Again, Hero is in a decent position. He's got the terrain advantage. You see he's got the high ground as well, and force fields, see, only 3 force fields really required right there, possibly 4 if you wanted to completely close it off. But the Stalkers have now backed into a nice position, and of course the Zealots warping in as well. The charge just about complete. You're going to see this attack. You have to retreat there. But with some nice stutter micro by ThorZaiN, he might actually be able to come out on top of this. He's also got some reinforcements on the way as well, kind of collecting down here at the natural. Sure enough, all of those Zealots have been wasted. The problem was there was not enough of them to come in and get a good surround. They were pretty much just charging double file down there at the Marines and Marauders, which now have the 1 weapons upgrade. Also, Psystorm just about complete. You see he is forced to make 2 Archons already, so I'm sure he would have liked to let those Templar build up the energy, but he does not have enough time here. And I think it's interesting. There we go. I was waiting for ThorZaiN to actually go in and attack, but I think he was just paying attention to his base for a second. So continued stutter step is going to negate those Zealots very easily. He's got to be very careful with these Archons. These are quite expensive units. For 2 base right now, you know, he cannot afford to lose a whole lot of gas like he would be if these had gone down. No, the Terran player is going to retreat and basically just leave Hero to his own for a little while. Very smart retreat. I do like this a lot. Again, this kind of gets back to not wanting to overextend your attack. He knows that he's got this 3rd base up. He knows that he's in a superior position economically, tech-wise, and strategically. And so he's not going to try to overextend himself and risk losing that advantage. We, of course, can see a very wide gap between the 2 players, 79 to 35. In favor of ThorZaiN. Looking at the income, we see 51 to 72. Back to production tab. Do note a Dark Shrine is on the way. Again, this is Hero's attempt at trying to push the battle back over without directly committing his entire defensive force. Very smart move. I think if he can get some DTs in here and take out some of the SCVs, take out some of the add-ons as well, it can delay things like these ghosts which are coming into the field. Again, having all these ghosts now, he's going to have so much energy built up, and also not even to mention the sniping of the Zealots, the High Templar, which will become a high priority target here in the coming moments ahead. We, of course, can see 91 to 150 for the army supply, and that watchtower makes the weirdest sound, man. I'm still not used to that. I always think it's some kind of wonky unit, but looking at the ghost energy, he's got plenty enough for lots of EMPs, like I said before, plus sniping, and could be going for a 4th base here. But ThorZaiN spots this pylon, spots the probe, and knows that he could be facing maybe a warp-in Zealots, DT pressure, something down there, so he's keeping them in the back of his head, dropping his command center out of visual range. Of course, we see that Nexus has gone down. Now that ThorZaiN has this heavy Marauder count with the medevacs and the ghosts, he's going to be feeling a lot more ballsy, running across the map. He knows that he's in a great position, and here are some Zealots warping in now. Again, with the Dark Templar, I feel like we're going to see that come in here and try to do some damage, and it's having the desired effect. If you look at the minimap, we can see that ThorZaiN is bringing the main bulk of his forces back down to his side of the map, which is what Hero wants. He wants to be able to drop this expansion, kind of establish himself a good position, build up an army, and let these High Templar get some energy, because that's going to be crucial in the moments ahead to just have this nice death ball to deal with the MMM ball rolling around. So we see an expansion. This is This was, like I said, a very risky maneuver. I think that SCV, like I said, did make itself known down there for a second, and I just don't think Hero actually saw it on his minimap. If he did, he probably wouldn't have built that expansion. But we see here the High Templar very vulnerable. Oh no, we're going to see those sniped off, and there we go, all but one. We're going to see that final one possibly taken out as well. We certainly can see that it is low on energy. But again, there goes a lot of utility in Hero's army down the drain. All he's got now are some meat shields, a couple splash damage dealers, a few stalkers. That's about it. He's got to get some of those High Templar back into the fray and try to use them, start taking out the stuff there. One thing I want to point out while this is going on is Hero's come in with his Zealots. He's also got a Dark Templar running around somewhere in here, which is going to be charging headfirst into the Marine Marauder force. But we're seeing Hero try to basically take out the depots, which is, I guess, the one target you can use to delay the growth of an army without having to bounce around to a bunch of different places, would be to take out the depots. Unfortunately for Hero, his opponent's already at 188 total supply cap. And Hero, of course, is at 170. So, like I said, I'm sure we're going to see some more High Templar coming in here. Sure enough, there we go. 5 of them. We also have ship weapons level 1. Very interesting, probably for the Vikings. Maybe he's going to go for an LOL battlecruiser here at some point, which would just be the icing on the cake. But I think that would be way later on in the game. Nice Scythe Storm landing there. Second one not quite as effective. Matter of fact, not nearly as effective. But look at all the energy there in those ghosts. Those High Templar just wish they can feed back that army into oblivion. Not going to be the case, as you see all of the energy from those are gone with the exception of this one right here trailing in the rear, which is again vulnerable to sniping. So with this expansion complete, I feel like Hero is in a little bit better of a position. He still has this giant ball running around, 50 supply gap between the two players. So it's going to rely on some very heavy Scythe Storm usage. Nice Storm landing on those ghosts. He's got to get 1 or 2 more to take out all of them. Will he be able to nail it? Yes, he does, all but 2, and those 2 don't have enough energy to be of significant effectiveness for this fight. But now we're going to see ThorZaiN just do exactly what he should be doing. Stutter Step Micro, keeping those Zealots from getting a good surround. You see how they're all EMP, they're all half dead, and you're just going to see ThorZaiN, despite the fact that he's very low in hit points, annihilate the Zealot force and continue on for more. We also see we have a Ghost versus a Stalker versus a Medevac 3-way up here. But with ThorZaiN able to field such quick reinforcements, I really just don't feel that Hero is going to be able to make a quick recovery from this. Just a couple things that happened early on, man. I'll tell you what, Hero has been fighting against the current ever since then, doing a great job, but ultimately ThorZaiN has just had superior economy, superior unit composition, and map control, and also some very excellent sniping opportunities, like earlier with the High Templar running behind his opponent's army. So income now, you see 58 to 63, so not that huge of a gap, but the big difference is the high yield right there, man. All those mules are going to be kicking that Terran economy into overdrive, and see another nice round of EMPs landing on top of the entire Protoss army. Just a couple Archons morphing in, and see that there's the GG from Liquid Hero. ThorZaiN wrapping up an extremely solid performance here today on GSL Dual Site. Game 1 of Best of 3 series from DreamHack Valencia. Thank you guys for watching. Of course, if you want, subscribe and you can be notified of continued coverage. We're going to go on to game number 2 and see what happens next.